Today, we are going to discuss something very simple but confusing. We are going to take this particular word, always, and talk about it. In some cases, when we are using always, we get confused and think that it is a verb, therefore, can have influence on other verbs. But always is not a verb. For example, in a sentence like, my mother always comes to my hostel for a visit, or my mother always comes to my hostel for a visit. Which one is correct? The correct one is my mother always comes to my hostel. Why? Because my mother is the subject and it is singular. We have also established that in the present tense, a subject which is third person singular, a singular noun, must go with the verb that adds an S. Traditionally, we would say a singular subject matches a singular verb. But I remember discussing with you that we don't have anything like a singular verb or a plural verb. So just say we add S, or S is added to the verb. It is inflected to agree with subject, the number of the subject. Okay, so my mother is singular. Therefore, you say my mother comes. But then, the moment we introduce always, and maybe when the always as an adverb precedes our verb, we get confused into thinking that always is a verb, but it is not. Therefore, most people say, my mother always come, thinking we have already put the S on always. Therefore, come should be in the bare infinitive. No, always is not a verb. It is just an adverbial. Therefore, it shouldn't influence the verb whatsoever into changing it from any form. The sentence could be said as, my mother comes to my hostel always. Or it can even be said, always, my mother comes to my hostel. So this is from the use of this structure, my mother always come, that let the S be added to come, even in the presence of always, because always is not a verb, it is just an adverb. All right, the sentence could equally be put as, my mother often comes to my hostel. So would you say my mother often come because of often? Now often is also an adverb equally as the always we used. All right, so if we say my mother often comes, then my mother always comes, because always is not a verb. So let's take note of that.